Hi and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be discussing with you this beautiful Daffodil Martinette. Martinette is a daffodil that we've grown first of all in Sheffield many years ago in our garden there, and it is just awesome, to be honest with you. I love the buttery yellow petals and that beautiful orange centre. You can't beat it. And I'm sorry, when it comes to scent, and you know I like scent in the garden, for those of you who follow our channel, this is it. This does it for me. I think every garden should have these daffodils in. If you remember back to a video that we did about a year ago, just over a year ago, we went around some of the garden centres in Gloucestershire and we brought these back with us. So we brought Martinette back, so many bulbs. We brought them home and they were just amazing. Look at them now. They've gone from strength to strength. They look wonderful. I love the fact that Paul's been raking the lawn as well and put lots of moss around as well. It's always a nice finishing touch, I think, when you've got moss around like this. But the purpose of the video is to say, you can see how beautiful they are, but the scent is just out of this world. It's something that I am absolutely obsessed with. If you find this beautiful daffodil coming up near you, don't be surprised if I'm not the one that's been around planting these bulbs all over the place, because if I had my way, I would plant these everywhere. This is an amazing daffodil. It's something that is cheery. It makes me feel good when I look at it. And to be honest, I'm going to tell you something that I've been doing. We've actually been bringing these inside so we can enjoy them. So certainly by early evening, these are inside in the kitchen and they're actually on the windowsill and they're very happy in there. It's a perfect place for them. And literally you go into the kitchen and all you can smell is the delicious scent from this amazing plant. If later on in the year you decide to order some of these bulbs, you go online, you type in Daffodil Martinette or Narcissus Martinette, you get these bulbs delivered, autumn time, plant them either in your garden. If you want them in the garden, great, fantastic. If you want them in pots or any other kind of container, you plant them then, and then you get to enjoy them in the springtime. And these just seem to keep going. I think within a week or so things are going to be slightly different, but they seem to keep going, and it's just the scent and the cheeriness of them. And I think planted en masse as well. You know, if you have quite a large garden and you decided to plant these in a huge area en masse, you'd get the benefit from that scent throughout the garden. And I think that it would look great as well because of the flowers themselves. I just think that en masse, that on its own, these on their own look amazing, but you imagine a huge swathe of these somewhere in your garden, they would look amazing. And they're something that we will continue to grow because we'd had a little gap. Like I say, we've grown them in Sheffield, probably hadn't grown them for a few years. We got them from Gloucestershire and it started that love affair up again of these. And I'm telling you now, if I could just get stacks of these bulbs, I would just go around grass verges everywhere and traffic islands and just begin planting them, literally, because I love them. I like it. And more people should share the love of plants, share the love of gardening. And I think if we could do that, we could make the world a much brighter place, because what's brighter than these cheery little heads? I just spend the whole time, if you notice, I'm not looking at you, I'm turning around and looking at these because that's what I do all day. Hence the reason bringing them into the house as well, because they look good and it's just that scent. I love it in the kitchen. I'm going to be so upset when these go over and there's no more scent anymore. Once the flowers are spent, deadhead them, okay? Then allow the foliage to die back naturally. But what you do need to do as well, and this is really important, is give them a high potassium feed over, say, a 6-week period, because that will help them a lot. All those nutrients will go back into the bulb, and then next year they're going to flower amazingly. It's really important because most people think, oh, they're just daffodils, just leave them alone, let them do the thing. And that's fine. But it's like us as well. You know, we manage with our diets, and many people do not take a multivitamin supplement or other supplements. But you imagine what that supplement does for us. And it's the same with the bulbs as well. You know, we deadhead them, allow the foliage to die back naturally, whilst also giving them a high potassium feed. And honestly, you will not be disappointed with blooms. But if you've not grown Narcissus Martinette before, please do grow it, because not only is that cheery, it makes you feel good, it's just the scent as well. I could just sit here all day with this. I'm telling you, later on, this is going back, this pot especially is going back into the house on the windowsill, and I'm going to be enjoying it in the kitchen later. So this autumn, I'm going to be planting a lot more of these. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I'd say I'm going to do them in pots just like this. You could plant them in the garden, okay? You could find other containers that they can go in. I think I'm going to use these kind of terracotta pots like this, plant lots of them and create groupings. So lots of pots en masse. And I think that's the way it's going to be, because next spring, and the thing is, when they're in pots as well, this is a good tip, right? Something I've not thought of till now. When they're in containers like this, so they're in a pot, this can be moved anywhere in the garden. If I wanted to, I could place this in the garden as if they're being grown in the ground, literally. I can place it anywhere. I can move containers around, so we've got them here now. I can move it to this side. I can move them anywhere in the garden that I want to. I could place them at the front of the house. And like I say, it's a bit insignificant just having one container like this, but you have a few pots, it's going to make an impact. But you can move them around, and that's the beauty of having them like this, because they're not static. You can move them, and that's the beauty of them. If you're somebody that doesn't like the untidiness of leaves dying back, so dead foliage just looking awful, the great thing is, when they're in pots like this, you can literally take them away and hide them somewhere else in the garden where you don't see them. Hide them behind a shed, hide them somewhere else where you're not looking at them. That way you don't have to look at the foliage while it naturally dies back. And instead, you can place something else that's out now in the place of the daffodils, or whichever other plant you decide to grow. But in this case, we're talking about daffodils. But these are just divine. I cannot take my eyes off them. I just love those orange centres. I really do. Really, really does it for me. And I do like daffodils in general. I like all kinds of daffodils, but I tend to like the orange centre ones. But these just do it, because there are so many flowers on one stem as well. So note that. It's not just one big flower, you know, like you often get. These are a different type. There are obviously so many flowers on each stem. But we have grown these, like I say, many years ago. So we're accomplished. When it comes to these, it's tried and tested. I really cannot recommend these enough. They just make a space, they really do. And, you know, whether in the garden, whether in containers, it doesn't matter. The fact is, they're doing the thing, they're cheery. But just remember about that high potassium feed as well. Because it's like us with the multivitamins, as I said, you just give them that little bit extra to help them on the way. For next year, you're going to be rewarded with great flowering the following year. Look at the feed and the letting things die back naturally as an investment in your own enjoyment of your garden. Also as well, when it comes, I was on about traffic islands earlier, roundabouts where you've got masses and masses of daffodils. Notice one thing, you do not see them coming round with a mower straight away as soon as they begin to die off, chopping these back to the ground on a ride-on mower. You do not see it. There's a reason for that. They have invested in these bulbs. They want them to thrive. So anyone with an ounce of sense would not ride over them with a ride-on mower, because they realise that in order to get them to flower properly the following year, you need to let the foliage die back naturally. Whilst on a traffic island, they're not getting that feed like you can give your own plants at home, your own bulbs. But they will still leave them to let the foliage die back naturally. You're not going to say, oh, the heads have got, they're finished flowering now, I'm just going to cut them all back in this pot now, right down, and then expect them to do really well next year. disappointment. It's not going to happen, okay? You really, really need to invest in them. Give them a feed, look after them, nurture them, and they will reward you year after year with beautiful flowers. Thank you so much for watching my video on Narcissus Martinette, or Daffodil Martinette. If you've not already grown this, as I've said, probably 1,000 times, well, not 1,000, but near enough. Grow it, give it a try, it's well worth it. You can't smell the scent here, I can. It's delicious. It's what you need in a garden. To me, a garden isn't really a true garden without some elements of scent throughout the year as well. Winter, spring, summer and autumn. There's always something in a garden. There's always a plant, a shrub, something that a tree even, something you can put in there that will give you scent at certain times of the year. And for me now, at the minute, it certainly is Martinette. If you've not clicked the like button already, please do so. Also drop any comments in the comments box below. We always like to hear how you're getting on and hear all your plans and ideas as well. Also, if you've not subscribed, it is free to do so. So many people say, oh, does it cost money to subscribe on YouTube, to subscribe to us? No, it doesn't cost anything. It's free to you. So please do subscribe. That way you get to see our videos and our content as soon as it's created. As soon as we put it online, you get to see it. Also, if you've not already looked at our online shop, please do look. There might be a gift on there that you'd like to buy somebody, the gardener in your life. There's lots of ideas on there, lots of gifts on there. So please take a look at our online shop and see if there's anything on there that you fancy. I will definitely see you on the next one. Have an amazing day, happy gardening, and take care. See you soon.